Hello everybody, welcome back to my Bountiful Acre. My name's Sue. Today, although the sun is shining and we've had a frosty start, it is still very wet and very muddy. The compost bags are damp, the greenhouse is dripping on my head, condensation everywhere. So before the seed sowing madness truly kicks in, I want to have a greenhouse reset. I'm going to clear out the clutter and remove all the detritus that seems to have been dumped in the greenhouse since we built it. So today we are turning this chaos into a seed sowing haven. The first thing I really need to get to grips with is getting all these plants out, and I think my intention is to put them in the other small greenhouse. So although this is a brand new greenhouse, it isn't perfect by any stretch of any imagination. We are on clay soil around here and lots of water accumulating in what is soon to be my growing area. I have got pots everywhere. I have got just things lying all over the place. And what was going to be my cosy sitting haven to have my morning coffee has turned into a dumping ground. They are bulbs that I need to plant and the weather's not been fit to do them, but I've got all this shelf space under here that could be much better utilised. I'm also going to try doing a couple of things slightly differently this year. It would help if it wasn't so icy. It's very slippery. As you know, I can't put them on the ground in here because it's still flooded. That makes life slightly harder. Some of them can go outside if they don't all fit in. We've got the bench out of the greenhouse, so that's freed up a lot of space. This area is a lot mouldier than I anticipated. It's been underneath the bench, but it's so damp in here. But yeah, I'm going to rake this over, let some air at the soil for now. What do we think, girls? Are we making progress? I think we are. You wouldn't think that a new greenhouse could get this mucky, eh? But for some reason this side is a bit dirty. There's a little bit of greasy fingerprints from when they built it. It is so lovely to have the sun shining through the windows, and it is showing up all the dirt. I don't think I'm going to do all of them because it's destined to rain for another probably month or so. The windows aren't mouldy. If you have got green mould on your windows, then it is definitely worth doing to let in more light. These are not that bad, to be fair, so I'm just wiping off the dirt where it's the worst. What am I going to put under here then? This old compost bucket is actually nowhere near big enough for the amount of compost I get through. So I'm thinking I might utilise it for my vermiculite and then keep the spare in the shed. And that can go under the counter because it's something I use regularly to mix in with my peat-free compost. Will it all fit in? Just pop the lid on and it's all safe and dry and it can go under the counter. I have consolidated all my bulbs into one box and bought some plants that I need to sort out, but I did find a bag of white camassias that I forgot to plant in the woodland. So those I'm going to get in today while the sun's shining, because they are coming up already in the woodland and these have got a few sprouts on them. And rather than let my seed potatoes languish in their bag, I might as well put them in a tray ready for chitting. And I can put them in a shady, cool spot and leave them to do their thing. This one is Picasso, so it's a main crop potato. And then the other variety I've got are Vivaldi, which I'll put in the other half. I am going to put the potatoes that I've just trayed and the ones that I had out already, I think underneath here, because it's a bit shadier under here and they don't want to be in direct sunlight. Are you giving me a kiss, are you? Thank you, that's very nice. I'm going to move some of these bigger pots down so that I've got workbench space for seed trays. Earlier in the video I mentioned that I was going to do a couple of things differently, and this is one of them. It's a simple thing. In previous years I think I've overwatered much more than I realised, which has invariably led to fungus gnats and mould. So this year I thought I'd try and be much more deliberate and use bottom watering. So I've added these trays and I've also invested in some nematodes to kill off the grubs of the fungus gnats. The flies are just a bit of a nuisance, so you can use the sticky traps for those. It's the grubs that cause most of the damage. This is the fungus gnat soil treatment that I ordered online. You just dilute it in water and water it onto your plant. As I mentioned earlier, I have had a tendency for overwatering, and mould is really prone to grow in these damp conditions that we're having. As you can see, the windows are still steamed up and these grasses are really not surviving very well. These ones are perfectly fine, but these ones got mouldy, damp and have started to die off, so I really do need to re-sow those. In the warmer months I'm hoping to add some clay balls or grit to the tray so that it'll help increase humidity for plants that just need a little boost. I have commandeered this little garlic pot that the previous occupants left behind to put my labels in. I thought that was really cute. I just remembered that I've got all these old sort of mustard pots that we've been collecting for years, thinking that they would be quite useful at some point, and I thought it would look quite nice up here for my new labels, so I'm going to put them in there. I did have them in an old coffee tin before, but that's much prettier, isn't it? Doug has been in and very kindly worked out how to use these long brackets that they sent incorrectly when we had the greenhouse, because I ordered the 1 foot shelf, but the 1 foot shelf panels came but with the 2 foot brackets. So I'm just going to put plastic trays on the top of them. Just giving everything a little wipe down just in case there's any pests or moulds or anything hiding away. This does have a cover, but I'm not going to put that one on. It's a little bit torn anyway. It's just so I've got somewhere to put plants when they've been potted on. This one though is a new acquisition and it does have a cover. These little mini greenhouses are really useful, and they just add that extra bit of warmth for things that don't appreciate the colder nights. I talked in previous videos about adding this small heater. It's here just to keep the frost off overnight. It's not to make things tropical. So this is the other little upgrade that I mentioned earlier. So what I'm hoping is that the combination of the new heater and this little mini greenhouse behind me is that I can bring my heat lovers like the peppers and the chillies and the aubergines out into the greenhouse much earlier than I would have done in previous years in my smaller greenhouses. I haven't got enough room under my grow lights for things once they're potted on. The nighttime temperatures in here are nowhere near warm enough for chillies and peppers and aubergines. So I thought this little mini greenhouse combined with my heater might actually give them a little bit of extra protection and see them through the cooler nights. I won't be moving them in just yet. So what I thought I would do while I'm waiting for it to warm up just a little bit more for the chillies and peppers is use this combination for my half-hardy annuals. I've got a lot of flowers to sow, as you will know if you saw last week's video, and they don't like cold temperatures at night. They definitely don't like frost. And although I am trying to keep this enormous greenhouse in above frost temperatures at night, just that little bit of extra heat might actually help them survive, and they'll be sort of slightly more acclimatised to our cooler British weather. These vegetables I sowed a couple of weeks ago are doing really well. We've got lettuce, pak choy, Brussels sprouts, red cabbage and mabuna all up. The only thing that hasn't come up yet are my long red onions. They have had a humidity dome on the top, which if you haven't got a little mini greenhouse, these things are really useful. But once they sprout, these really do need taking off to avoid damping off. So I have got some more of these long black trays at my mum's house, so I am going to bring those in. The one I've added on there is not quite long enough. I want the slightly longer ones, or I might put a couple of planks of wood across there so that I can put things in the gap in the middle. But that is very useful. It's cleared off quite a lot of the bigger plants. So I've now got space on the shelves and on these shelves down here. Let's get this window open and let some air in. The risk is that you are so tempted to heat it, but that just causes more condensation. So I generally only have the heater on at night. The foxgloves we transplanted a couple of weeks ago are doing really well. Now then, one of the things I've been desperate to get to is removing this cardboard from my beautiful tiles. It is still a quagmire outside, but this cardboard's getting soggy and probably making the mould situation worse. So I'm going to pull it up, give the tiles a little bit of a wash, and probably put a bit of fresh down until the mud clears a little bit. Yeah. It's going soggy, not very pleasant. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a cup of coffee. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. It may not be rocket science and it's not a massive transformation, but it has really prepared me for what's to come. And I love this time of year. As you may know if you watch regularly, I'm a bit of a seed addict, and it was stressing me out that I had so much clutter everywhere and nowhere to put my newly sown seeds. But now I think you'll agree it's looking much more organised, and I'm ready for what the season has to offer. So next week I think we're going to be sowing some more seeds and refilling these shelves. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and I'll see you next week for some serious seed sowing.